Hey everyone, all right, we are back again for video number 4. I had no idea this thing was going to take that long, but let me tell you what happened when the camera went off on the last scene that you saw on number 3. It was mayhem. It was chaos. It was incredibly stressful. We were trying to get rid of these bubbles, and they were like
foamy bubbles.
It was crazy. They were nuts, and we realized we made some major errors on this thing. Fortunately, I think we're going to be able to save it, but what we realized is we did not seal this up. We should have put penetrating epoxy over this whole thing before we poured the we use the tabletop, right? Before we put the tabletop on it. And you know how we said that it felt really warm? It felt really hot? It felt really hot, like really early on, like more than normal. And I think that just like opened the pores of this cherry, and it was just foam all over. So we, about, I don't know, 5 minutes after the camera went off, we both agreed that we just need to scrape as much of this stuff off as we can. So most of what we poured ended up in the trash can. It was crazy. Anyway, so this is where we're at right now. Fortunately, most of the bubbles were scraped off. There are still, you can still see some surface stuff here. And we've got some little tiny spots down in there, but you can barely see them. I like the way the blue came out. And, you know, ironically, what I thought we would have bubbles coming out from underneath here, this edge, because of those gaps, we had zero. We didn't have any. They were all literally coming from the board. Literally the board. It was like the pores opened up and the bubbles just, like, flew out of there. It was crazy. It was like covered in foam. It was like a little boy in a bubble bath. It was crazy. It was crazy. Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to come back. Vicky is going to use the micro zip, and then probably just kind of surface sand.
Glare.
Oh, kind of just surface sand all of these bubbles out, and then we're going to attempt this again. We're going to pour one more time.
I think we saved it. I think
we did, because it was a disaster. And I think by scraping most of that stuff off and just throwing it away, I think we either saved the whole thing, or at least at the very minimum, we saved hours of grinding bubbles out and sanding, and yeah, I think we saved a lot. So anyway, stay with us if you're still there after 4 videos, and hopefully this video won't be very long, because we assume we're going to do one more scene of sanding and pouring, and then the final scene of the finished product. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. We'll be back.
Okay guys, so what I did is I went in here because there were some pretty good bubbles in this part here, so I wanted to try not to mess up the black. But all we're going to do is we have this little zip, what is this called?
Micro zip. Micro zip,
and we have a medium little pad on here, which it comes up, I think it's like a 120 grit. And we're just, Lord willing, sand these down. So I'm just going to try do what I can here to get this out. And we've got this compressed air to blow this out, which is out of there.
For their keyboards and stuff.
For the keyboards. And just going to get that white resin powder out of there so that when we fill that, it's clear and not powdery. So I'm going to work on this. Eric's going to help me. And then we'll come back and we'll pour it. So stick with this if you're still, like Eric said, if you're still there. We just really wanted to show, and here's the reason. At first I said, I don't think we should show it. We should just fix it and be done. But I was talking to Tessa today, and I told her this. But when I was learning to do resin, watching all the videos and everything that I could to learn, I never saw anybody make mistakes. Everything always came out absolutely perfect, of course, and And they were beautiful. Everything I saw was gorgeous stuff. And then I went to try to pour resin, and I'm like, mine doesn't look like that. What's going on? What am I doing wrong? Well, I couldn't find anything really that told me what I was doing wrong or how to fix it. There were a few videos that I watched, older ones, that said Dremel and all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to make sure that when we mess up, which we do a lot, we're going to show you that we mess up, and we're going to show you how we fix it. So keep your fingers crossed and hope that it comes out as good as we plan it to. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, so this time we used, on the blue here, we used Maker Epoxy. On the first pour, we used tabletop epoxy. Now we're going to try the high performance epoxy. So this stuff has been really good on a lot of different things that we've made, which the other products are too, but I think this one's a little thinner and maybe not quite so
I used it on, gosh,
a lot of
3 or
signs. This
4 or
thing lasts
5 big
forever.
signs.
And I want to make something clear, you guys, just so that we're perfectly clear. This mistake was not a Totalboat mistake. This is totally a Maker mistake. This is not a resin mistake. We messed this up. That's what I want to make. I want no question about that. Totalboat products had nothing to do with how we screwed this thing up. So I just wanted that to be perfectly clear. Okay. So now we're going to. First, I'm going to. Where did I have that one? Oh, here it is. I'm just going to kind of put some of this in here. Well, we're still going to see little bubbles, but that's all right. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to pour it in the middle, and then we can hand move it over.
Work it on the way out, yeah.
So we sanded this thing down pretty darn good. Ooh, big old crow just flew overhead. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to use a torch on it instead of the hot heat gun. So we're just going to move this stuff around. See, this is not near as hot as the other stuff was.
It's just barely, just lukewarm.
Yeah.
Compared to the stuff that we used before.
Ooh, how come your table's not wide enough? We're going with that.
Yeah. So, are you saying there's going to be resin on the floor? What a shock.
Hey, there's resin on the floor from yesterday when we were scraping this, or the other day. It wasn't yesterday. When we were scraping this thing like mad people. Alright. So this one, Lord willing, will be it. And again, folks, we just want you to see that these mistakes are fixable. Not all of them. Some of them just need to take your piece over to the dumpster and drop it. Ask Michael. So, all right.
I think we poured enough.
Yeah.
We mixed enough.
Can you hand me another glove, please? So, I don't see any of those foamy bubbles.
I don't either.
Alright, so you can still see where we had bubbles. You can still see them, but it's not a catastrophe.
Liar.
Well, that's true. Alright.
You torched my heart years ago.
Oh, wow. You are so full of it. Alright, guys. So far, so good. Like I said, you can still see bubbles in there, but it is nothing compared to what it was.
I think we may have salvaged it.
I think we may have salvaged it. So yes. So we will let you know how this goes. I see a spottiness there. And anyway, folks, we will be back and show you the finished product. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right, you guys. Finally, we are done. So here it is. Really happy with the way it came out. We still a few little tiny micro bubbles in there that I would like to not have had, but again, it was totally our mistake by not putting the penetrating epoxy. And I don't know what we were thinking. I think we were just trying to get in a hurry toward the end, and we were trying to get it done. And we should have put the penetrating epoxy on there. I think that would have completely eliminated our bubble situation. But anyway, there's just a few little micro bubbles in there. Overall, we're really happy with it. This wave kind of thing. Somebody was asking how we did that. You could do that on a scroll saw. We did it with our lasers. That's just 1/8" birch that we did with our lasers. And you saw Vicky paint them blue and then did the wave resin effect on the outside. But we're super happy with the way it came out. Thank you again to all of the Totalboat people. You guys have supported us so much. This seems like the least we could do to pay you guys back for all the product that you have sent to us and supported us in such a great way. So we love you guys, and we'll be shipping this off within the next day or so. I want to let the resin harden a little bit more, maybe another 24 to 48 hours before we actually put it in a box and ship it. But we'll be shipping it over to you guys at Totalboat. So again, guys, I hope this was helpful. I know this took 4 videos to get through this, but we really wanted to kind of show our errors and our mistakes. But again, we're really happy with the way it came out. Thanks so much for all of the support. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to subscribe. There's the channel. If you need supplies, there's the website. If you want to order Totalboat products, you can go to totalboat.com and put in, for 15% off, put in our code, which is ROTEN15. That's RHOTEN15, and that'll give you 15% off on Totalboat products. I guess that's it. Am I forgetting something? That is it, guys. We love you. We will see you guys on the next one. Have a great one. Bye-bye.